So, hi guys, today I will be doing another video with commentary on 4 verses we did in Virginia last year. And I tried to buy a microphone for today, but I couldn't do it. What I was able to do is I boosted up my microphone volume a bit, and I will try to speak a bit slower and more clear, so hopefully you will hear everything I say. Okay, so the race that I will be commenting on is the semifinals between me, Jones, Boss, and Dan. And the race I will be commenting on is Donkey Kong Jungle's Parkway. Okay, so let's start. And as you will see, if you have seen my last video from Luigi Raceway, the start here is pretty much the same. You will see two players get the start boost. So let's just show it. Yeah. So Jones and Boss got start boost. I got a slow start, and Dan got a super slow start. And it's the same as the last time, so there is no need for Jones or Boss to hit the brake. You just want to drive and get in front, because you will lose too much time if you brake. And in case me or Dan try to brake, the loss will be too big. So just drive in this situation. As for me and Dan, what must happen here, on what we must focus, is picking up the items. It is a bit harder than on Luigi Raceway because you have a turn here, unlike on Luigi Raceway where you just drive straight and you don't have to look at your driving at all. You can focus 100% on getting the items. But here you have to make sure you get this turn right, because if you turn too much to the right, uh, you can end up in the jungle and lose a lot of time. So, okay, as we see here in Boss's window, Jones, he sees Jones just in front of him, and at this point he must realize that since Jones is so far on the right, he should assume that Jones will pick up the item which is most to the right, and he should go to the left here. This is what I would do in his position. And see, Jones just Jones gets back to the track, and he picks that item. And as we see, Boss turned left in the last moment, picking up the items. But you really should do it sooner. Uh, Maybe even before this point, or at this point is a bit late. And if you see, he makes two corrections in order to get this item box, and he barely gets it. So do that correction as soon as possible. He should have seen Jones in front of him right away because he was so close to him. And yeah, as for me and Dan, I didn't pay attention here, and I went straight to the for the item boxes that Boss and Jones aimed for, and you see I turned pretty left and missed the items. And what Dan does, he has a better line than me, but yeah, he saw it. He saw at this point probably that he will not get the items on the right, so he turned left, uh, and he did it as he should. So as we see here, uh, Jones and Boss got the red shell, and as Boss, what you want to do here, you want to hit Jones from the side. You want to get close enough and try to shoot him on the side. There is a possibility that Jones could hit him back, but with everyone so close, especially when you're in second place and third place is very close behind you, you want to risk it, because if the player in first place is just a bit slow, he will hit the person behind you and not you. So it's definitely good to try this. As for Jones, uh, at this point I would just try to drive and escape from Boss, so he doesn't get me on the side. But Jones did another strategy which turned up to be good. I prefer driving here, but this is also good. Uh, and the reason I prefer driving is when you are in first, you don't want to get hit. You just want to drive and escape. Uh, and if you get far enough from Boss, he will not hit you. But if you brake and hit Boss, he might hit you back, and then you just lose time. Okay, so Jones decided to brake, and he hit Boss. And if you can see where Boss is at this point, he's just under the bridge. And if you can see on my screen how far I am, so this is the window that Boss has to shoot Jones. And it's a pretty big window, but use it. And this is exactly what you want to do when you are in behind someone and he hits you with his only protection. For example, if you hit a fake or hit his banana or his green shell, doesn't matter. The moment, well, actually with banana is not good because you are spinning and turning around. But if you hit his green shell or red shell or the fake item, you go into the air. But the most important thing here is you don't spin around, so you can safely shoot the red while in air. And this would have been a perfect time for Boss to shoot his red and hit Jones back. And unfortunately, he didn't do it. He waited. I don't know if he waited to land. And at this point, as he landed, he probably sees the rail in front of him, and I think it's far enough, but I'm not sure. So yeah, it would be a bit risky to shoot the red at this point because it can end up in the fence. So what he does, he waits and turns, and at this point, even if he missed Jones, he should have seen that he just ended up in third place. So this is a good moment to shoot the red and maybe hit me. But it's also not bad what he did. He waited and played safe. Turned to the right, saw that Burbank is pretty close, and then with free shrooms he cannot do anything here. He might want to try to escape, but it is too risky with the shrooms, because if the boss fires his red in the right moment, you are 80% out of the going out of the track. As you will see, boss kind of makes a secure shot. He sees Dan is so close to him, he knows he will connect, and then he does pretty well here. The brake in order to lose speed and to prevent himself going over the fence. So when you see a red very close behind you in this turn, you want to let go of the A button just a bit, or maybe even hit the brakes, just to make sure you don't fly over the wall, because it's a huge time loss, and sometimes it can happen that Lakitu doesn't pick you up, so you just drive around the jungle on the other side of the fence, and basically your race is pretty much over. Okay, so with the jumps, Jones got the green shell here, and what you want to do, you want to fire it right here. It's a perfect spot after the landing, because people, as you see in boss's screen, you land facing the grass, so you don't see what's coming on the left, and this green can surprise you. But it's also kind of a narrow area for these scores, so this is definitely where you want to be shooting your greens, deep here, and on the bridge just before the cave in the end is also a great place to shoot the greens. See, Jones will shoot the green shell here, and for me, how I usually avoid the greens here, I turn hard to the left, as you see here. I maybe didn't even see the green shell. I just try to do this automatically, because when you shoot the green here, you want that shell to stay on the track as long as possible. And if you try to aim someone who is on the left, if you miss, the green will just go into the water. But if you shoot it straight down the middle, you have a chance to hit one of three persons behind you. So it's much better to do this. Okay. As you see, Jones shot his green and he missed me. And at this point, you can see on boss's screen, he doesn't see that where the green is going. And also, as Dan, you want to use these shrooms as soon as you land here, because this is the best place, together with the cave, to use the shrooms and to cut as much grass as possible. And it's not only for the cut. This is the most dangerous area, where people can easily hit you with the red shells. So you want to escape from this area as soon as possible. And as we see in boss's screen, the green is coming right at him. So as Dan fired it, it went for the item boxes on the far right, and this is the best place for the green to go, to put the green in that direction, because if you land on the item boxes, you will land somewhere around there, and as you see, the green shell bounces back from the edge, so it stays in this area where people land. It's basically perfect green from Jones. Even though he missed me, he hit. It was a great danger for people behind. And as you will see, Dan will use immediately, and even uh, I got the shrooms after I landed, but it's still worth it to use them, even a bit late. As I said, because you just want to escape from this area and you can save time here. Okay, so we see both me and Dan we use our shrooms, and what I want to do here, I want to get in front of Jones. Now this is a choice you can make when you're so close to someone. You can either stay in second and drive close behind him and try to get better items, or you can try to front run. My favorite choice is going for first place for two reasons. The first reason is you can always, well, actually for three reasons. When you don't know what the people in third place are going to get, they can get better items. So there is always the danger that they can hit you somehow. And when you are in first place with the close second, you can always try to steal his item blocks. And also you can set up the traps. So for example, even if you get a banana, you just drive with this banana behind you, and the person behind you will have to adjust his driving. And if he doesn't, he is an easy target. For example, if I'm in first, I just look at how the person behind is driving, and if I see that he is driving as usual, I know exactly where I should put the bananas. So it's easy to take him out. And if he tries to adjust his line, it's just he's losing time, and that's always good. So for boss, he got the star here, and I would use the star right away for the next reason. So what you want to do with stars in fourth place, you basically just want to use them as soon as possible, unless you see someone who is trigger happy in third place. So maybe wait until he gets to the next item boxes and try to use the star before he gets the bolt. But usually what you want to do, you want to get rid of the star as soon as possible so you can pick as many items as possible. So what boss has here in front of him is, if you look at my screen, these are the item boxes that are next in his path, and there is another set of item boxes before the bridge. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that this star bears down before the item boxes uh, before the bridge. And this is because in case you get the star in the item boxes that I am approaching, most likely if he uses this star right now, this star will last until the bridge, or just before, it will wear out just before the item boxes before the bridge. And if you get another star on the next item boxes, you can use it before the bridge, the second star, and then get another item. But if you wait for the next item boxes, in case you get a star in that item boxes, you will not be able to pick the next item boxes because you will not be able to fire the star before them. It's a low percentage scenario, but still, I mean, there is no reason to wait with the star except from that one scenario that I mentioned with Bolt and someone who is trigger happy. But other than that, there is no need to wait with the star in fourth place. And as we check out me and Jones, so yeah, with the shroom you always want to fire it just before the iron boxes. Because, for example, if someone has something, an ability to hit you, shroom is pretty good, you know, to always quickly recover from some kind of bad scenario. So it's not bad to hold it if you don't have a place where you can cut a lot of track. So just fire it before the item boxes. And yeah, I was able to take the item boxes here in front of Jones. Yeah, you don't want the person behind you to know for which item boxes you are going, so yeah, you try to confuse him. I didn't turn that much here because we were close anyway, so it was just a bit lucky, but you just gotta make sure you pick the items. And if you can, try to maybe turn to confuse your opponent. Okay, so what I got here is bananas. So this is the situation. Exactly was what I was mentioning. Why I like to be in first place. So I got a set of bananas, and Jones is behind me without anything. And even if he had something, it wouldn't help him much. And this is one of my favorite places here to put the bananas because most people drive here, and it messes you up pretty bad, as you will see. And you see Jones sliding to the sides, going all the way all the way all the way into the jungle. So let's see that once again. Yeah, this corner is perfect for bananas one. And I don't know why I drove straight here. Yeah, I didn't want to turn too much to the left, I guess. I didn't want to turn too much to the left. I guess I felt like I was going too much to the left, so I just wanted to correct my line, but yeah, I went a bit too far to the right. And this is basically what you don't want to do. You don't want to mess up your driving just to hit someone. When you are in first, you just mind your own business. You put those straps down and drive as best as possible. But it worked out here. Jones went far to the jungle and very costly. And yes, you see, boss used his start just before the items. He got a bolt. So even if he did my strategy, even if he used the star right away, he would have gotten the bolt here, and it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, in case you get the double star, it's always better to just fire the star as soon as possible. And here you should wait with the bolt. You should definitely wait for the jump over the river. And also, putting bananas on the bridge is good, but putting bananas on the ramp is better. So what I usually do if I have a lot of bananas behind me, I put one or two here, and the rest on the ramp. You will see, someone always hits it. And okay, in this situation, Burbank, I don't know if he saw me. He should have seen me. In this situation, I would have just shot two reds on me. He had a lot of time, but what he might have been thinking here is he might have seen he probably seen the bolt from boss, and when everyone are so close, I mean I'm not that far in front, so the scenario here for Burbank is if he hits me, he goes into first, and then boss hits him on the ramp. But in this scenario, he can just let me go. He knows that boss will is good and that he will get me on the ramp, and he can focus on Jones and probably on boss because he's got a bolt. So you want to slow the guy with the bolt as much as possible. Okay, so yeah, Dan takes a pretty wide turn. Yeah, I don't know if he was aiming for Jones here or for boss, but he hits boss here. Um, and from Jones' perspective, he sees the red. He knows that Dan is in front of him with the reds. He's just trying to drive, and then he sees the triple shrooms. And at this point, you just want to use it as soon as possible because you want to escape from the reds, and you want to use the shrooms because Bolt is in game, and you want to get rid of your shrooms as soon as possible. And Jones does, yeah, he's a bit late. He just maybe focused on hopping, but it's fine. It's not that bad. And as we see, Dan hits boss. And again, I'm not sure if he was aiming. He was probably aiming for another hit for boss, but he was just like a few frames too late. And he sent his red after Jones, and Jones knows that there is a possibility of red coming. Even if he didn't look at the Dan's screen, he probably didn't at this point, but he saw Dan with those two reds, and he just wants to escape to the next item boxes as soon as possible and get the item. And as you see, red is going after him. And also Dan, at this point, he got the shrooms, so he should get rid of them as soon as possible. Yeah, and he does that. And as you see, Jones made it to the item boxes, and he's spamming the Z button. And as you see on Dan's screen, the red is still going for it. And as you see, the save from Jones, it was perfect. Uh, he used it right on time. He was aware of the situation. He was focused and was able to avoid this red from Dan. So good play here. As for as for boss at this point, um, yeah, there is also another possibility. I mean, Jones, he knew he needed a protection, and even Ghost, he knows he can get a Ghost and maybe steal a Bolt. So yeah, just spam that Z button here. There is no need to wait in any case. And as boss, you should definitely be watching. You should be aware. I mean, you're getting hit here. You're going in the air as boss, and as I said, this is a perfect time to take a look around to see what the situation is. And as someone who has the bolt in fourth place, you want to be watching people in first and second, and he should see that I have double items, so I'm not a threat to him. But definitely be careful about Jones. At this point, he should be watching what Jones is getting in case he gets a ghost, so he can react. And yeah, luckily for him, Jones didn't get the ghost. So for me, What I want to do when I'm first here, you don't want to jump around or break or do some weird stuff on this ramp. What you want to do is you just want to drive full speed here. Full speed, uh, lay any traps for your opponents, and just hope the person with the bolt is late. But if he isn't, uh, driving with full speed into the river is not actually that costly uh, compared to other players who are also shrunk. As we will see, this is one of my favorite spots for putting the bananas here on on, on the outside of this fence. Uh, and you want to put like one banana on near the fence and then turn to the right as much as possible to cover that part of the road as well, because when people are driving with full speed here, they usually end up on the left, on the outside wall. But if they slow down, they will have much less speed, so you want those bananas to be closer to the ramp. And yeah, that's the perfect way to just go from left to right when you are putting these bananas down. And as you will see, if you can see me and Jones at this point, Jones is not that far behind, and I'm just driving. Let's get back to this part. Backwards. Okay. So yeah, and what you see Dan does here, he gets rid of the shrooms, as we said, uh, hits the banana, and just he maybe didn't spam his Z button since he was focused on not driving into the water here. So he was a bit slow with the item. He was a bit slow with the item. We'll see. But he gets the star, and he knows the bolt is in play. He must spam the Z button as much as possible, and he does that. And right before boss hits me, there is nothing boss could have done here. I mean, you can always look, yeah, maybe uh, he saw that third place is going into the item boxes, and he could use the lightning just a bit sooner, which would have been better in this situation. But I mean, you cannot always think of the worst case scenarios every time. So I mean, I don't think it's a mistake for boss, but definitely you could count this into play and just shoot the bolt a bit sooner here because as I said, going down here with full speed is not that costly. So waiting before the ramp is as bad. So yeah, firing that bolt a bit sooner is not that bad, unlike on Mario Stadium where you really don't want to fire it too soon. But here it's not a problem. If you see the difference between me and Jones, and why I mentioned this, yeah, also boss completely lost his driving here. I don't know. I mean, he looked in my screen, but you shouldn't look that much. I mean, it's as I said before, it's not a problem if you lose a bit on driving, but you gotta make those items count. So yeah, that's more important. in this situation, definitely. And if you see, I drop down, and remember, Jones was not. And as you see, Boss has problems with his bananas, and he manages to stop it. Otherwise, he would have fallen down. And you see the difference between me and Jones. So Jones did close the gap between me and him, but it was not by much. So falling down here with full speed is really not that big of an issue. And as you are here in the air, what you want to do every time in every lap, this is a perfect time for looking around. But I will comment a bit more on that on the next lap because no one has any items here. So yeah. Okay, so Boss just missed the items internally. And at this point, yeah, I know I picked that item in front of him, so he's not getting any items. I feel that's very good for me. I feel very good about that. And all I need to focus is on fourth place. And also then at this point, he should be watching what mainly the person in second is getting, and he should be aware that Boss got nothing, so he should just focus on driving at this point. And the Boss should be looking at me to see what I get. Okay, and the same for me now. As I got the bananas, I know I cannot hit Boss, and as I told you, in this area is very dangerous, so you want to escape as soon as possible. And I know I'm in danger here, and I want to pass Boss because then I'm safe from whatever Jones gets. You will see Jones gets 3 reds, and what Jones, yeah, maybe. Maybe you want to fire the reds as soon as possible. So when you fall down and you see that the people are not that much, not that much in front of you. So when you are landing the jump, you should be aware how far the person in front of you, how far is the person in front of you. And Jones should know that I'm not that far. He should spam that Z button, and not spam like use the item right away, but spam to get the items quicker and then just let go before you get them. It takes a bit of practice, but it's not that hard. And maybe this was an opportunity for him to fire the reds like right here. I think he would have hit me. So you have to be ready. You just gotta hope, like he's close. What do I need to hit him? I need reds. If I get him, I just stem them right away. Got them, but unfortunately he didn't shoot. And this is also a good place for bananas. His turn, just behind his turn, and as you will see, Jones lost 2 reds, and I heard that, I saw that, I know that he lost them, and I can immediately focus on Boss because I know that Jones is not a threat anymore. Okay, as then he gets a banana, just focus on driving. And as you see, I take a safer line here on all 3 laps, and other players just cut the grass here. I'm not a big fan of cutting this turn because if you go too far to the right, you get stuck in the jungle and you lose a lot of time. And also, this is a good place to put some items down because it's a sharp turn. No one sees what is waiting for them. So it can be a pretty dangerous turn. And going around, you lose a bit of time, but I think it's better, it's safe. You don't get hit by any coconuts. So yeah, this is what I like to do, just to be safe. If you see the difference between me and boss, for example, how big it was, and I hit the banana, and it still isn't that big, you know. So you really don't lose that much time. Uh, so at this point, boss he got 3 green shells. He cannot shoot them here, and what you want to do here is shoot them at the bridge. So the person you want to shoot them in the side so that they stay on the bridge, and person behind you potentially runs into them. As Dan, of course, you only drive. As me, you just want to make sure you don't get hit with red. And as we see, Jones missed the iron boxes. Why did he do that? Yeah, got a bit unlucky here that I hit the banana and slows down a bit and picked his item. Yeah, you just want to get rid of this red and get rid of those bananas behind me. But as you shoot the red on a bunch of bananas, you don't want to go into that direction. As we will see, it hits me, and the bananas stay in place, and Jones gets spun out. So if you are shooting at the person with a bunch of bananas, just shoot him and turn on the other side, and make sure you don't hit those bananas. Uh, as in my place here, so as soon as I got hit, with red shell, what I want to do with the mushrooms here is I want to get rid of them uh, before the next items. Not this one. These ones are too close, and I think shrooms are pretty good here. Not in your if you are in 4th place, but for example, if you are in 3rd place, it's not that bad to actually save the shrooms for the cave because you save a lot of time. And I didn't have time to. Maybe I did spam all 3 of them, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I decided to wait. For the cave. Let's see. Then he's holding up his banana. Jones misses another item boxes because of the banana. So yeah, nothing he can do here. Uh, I definitely didn't see that at the time because I was focusing on these greens. So let's see. Yeah, let's check. Okay, so see what Voss does here. Bam, bam, bam. It's perfect. And then red right after his greens. And this is perfect play. He's completely aware of the situation. He knows that I'm very close behind him. He knows he can fire those greens very late. And he knows that he is in the reach of the Dan is in his reach. So he can fire this red. And if you see, he fires those greens and then red immediately. It's perfect timing. Just as he got off the bridge, and he wants to hit Burbank. And in case Burbank didn't have any protection, he would have done it. So perfect play here from Boss. And as for me, I'm just saving. My idea was save 1 shroom in case you get hit by the green shells, and save the other shroom to climb the cave. And I was kind of counting on getting hit, but I got very lucky. Passed through the greens, and at this point, what I want to do here with the mushrooms, you want to shoot the mushroom into the iron box, the one on the furthest on the left. but you want to shoot it just before you hit this item box. So the shroom takes you up and you pick the item, but I completely missed it, like all the way to the left. And as you see, this red just hit the Burbank, but he had protection. Yeah, so. And behind me, if you see, yeah, this green had a really weird bounce into the cave, and it's bounced back into Jones. So Jones got very unlucky here. I think it's maybe from the edge of the bridge. It got bounced from the edge of the bridge. So you have a green going into you, and you have another set of greens there. It's terrible and very unlucky for you. Yeah, and as you saw, I used the shroom to get up. Boss missed the items, then got a single red. There's nothing much you can do with this single red, but you definitely want to hold it and see what you're gonna get in the next item boxes. Right here, and at this point, yeah, I'm aware that I just passed. If you see my screen, I just saw that I passed boss. I saw him and I saw that I'm second place. So what I want to do is I want to troll him. I want to take some items in front of him because I know he's very close behind me. Jones with the triple shrooms, you just want to spend them as soon as possible and get to the next items, hoping for something better. And if you see my screen here, that I know that boss is very close behind me, and I'm going to the right side, but then I turn to the left, hoping to confuse boss and get the items from him. And I picked two items, but I left one furthest on the left. It was a decent try. I didn't cover everything, but yeah, boss went a bit too far to the left and missed them anyways. So yeah, this is a mistake from boss because yeah, this last lap, third place before the ramp, you really should focus on getting those items if you're in third or fourth. And then he got the shroom here, so it's not a ghost. For example, if you got a ghost here as Dan, you just want to fire this red and prepare for fourth place because you know he's close, and if he gets the bolt, you can save yourself. Uh, I was the lucky one here. I got the ghost, and at this point, I have seen that the boss doesn't have anything because you immediately should look at what person behind you gets. And I know that Jones is coming to the ramp. So what I want to do here, the idea here, is to play it safe. Just to play it safe. Use that ghost. I know that pretty much anyone in this situation will just spam the Z button, and you just want to use the ghost before they get an item. It's just the best play here because if you are late, you lose the first place. If you are right, first place is yours. And if you use the ghost too soon and he doesn't get the bolt, you're still in the race. So it's not that terrible. And as you see, Jones is approaching the item boxes. He knows that everyone are close. He knows that no one passed over the ramp. So he's just hoping for that bolt. And he just got that bolt. And I just used my ghost, but I got a bit greedy here. I wanted to steal an item from Jones, but it was it was unnecessary risk because it's hard to steal from someone who's spamming. You have to time it perfectly, and I knew he will be spamming. And if I had been just a bit late, uh, he would shrink me, and I would be in second to last place with a ghost, with a useless ghost. So definitely, I shouldn't have waited so long here. As you see, then he has this red, and he does exactly what he should not do. I mean, this situation is pretty depressing, but you have to keep your focus. And as I told you, the best way you can approach this ramp is with full speed. Unless you think there are bananas here, but you should go with full speed and go straight. So even if you fall on the road below, just go straight to the water, because Lakira will put you up on the ramp every time. But if you go left or right, you can end up on the road below and you lose a lot of time. And as we see here, Dan went to the left and he almost finished on the track. If he ended up on this track below, that would have been last place 100%. He also fires the red. And there is no reason to fire the red. I mean, it's frustrating. A lot of frustration, definitely, at this point. He had this first place. He was in a good position, and all that had to happen is Jones not getting the ghost, not getting the lightning. And yeah, boss is waiting here. Jones, he did what he had to do. There was no any other way he could have done this. Um, you have to spend, you have to take the risk at this point, and he's pretty mad, couch slapping like crazy. It's so fun. Uh, yeah, so maybe as Jones would take a little bit of more risk here. Maybe he saw that banana, so he got scared, or he heard the Dan slapping the couch like crazy, so he lost the focus a bit. But you gotta learn how to take risks on this jump, and this is why. So you see how far he is from me. Uh, it's not close, but it's not that far. And I made the jumps. I made the jump just to the iron boxes, and I had two options here. I was thinking you can fire the shroom immediately, because, as I said, you want to escape from this place as soon as possible. Uh, but I thought I made a good jump at this point, so I felt confident enough uh, to save the shroom for the cave. And when you are in first place on third lap, you want to save the shroom in case you hit something so you can recover fast. Or on Donkey Kong Jungle Sparkle, you just want to save it for the cave because you cut a lot of time there. Uh, could have used it here to get over the grass, but I would have done it if I felt that Jones was closer. I would have fired the shroom right here. Uh, yeah, but there was no need at this point. Jones, he should have taken a bit more risk, maybe in order to try to catch me, but he is really safe in second place. And as you see, he got a red shell, but I'm too far in front because of his bad jump. And I saw the red shell. I'm just watching Jones at this point. I know I'm too far in front of him, and I just want to use the focus on my driving and use the shroom in case of an accident or in the cave. Jones at this point, he should know that I'm too far behind in front, and he should focus on third and fourth place. And this is the point, right? When you are in the air, this is the perfect point to look at other people's screen, to see how far in front of you they are. There was actually in lap 1, I think, there was a situation. Let's go there. Okay, so lap 1, you see them with the shrooms, and you make the jump. You see where you're going. At this point, you look at other people's screen to see how far in front they are and to see what they got. And you look until about here. And as you approach the landing, you don't want to land and still be watching at other people's screen. You have quite a lot of time in the air to assess the situation, and then you have to prepare for the landing and you here as best as possible. 3. Yeah. Okay, so as you see some strats with jumps, you can see what Jones does, what Boss does, and then as soon as you land, A/B spin. If you don't do that, you're you're facing towards the hill. You have to jump on the left. You get slowed down. You turn slowly. Maybe you even go backwards a bit. So you can lose a lot of time here. With A/B spin, you get back on the road pretty quickly. Triple A. As you get to the road, you can do it immediately. But if you are not that secure with your A/B spin, you can A/B spin into the water. So maybe just A/B spin first and then triple A later. Boss does A/B spin and then he stops a bit and triple A. It's not a big time loss. And as you see, then he also does A/B spin, triple A. So at this point, Boss gets the shrooms. He's probably very unhappy with this. He knows that Dan is very close behind, so he wants to escape this area as soon as possible. Unfortunately for Boss, Dan gets the reds, and as we said last time, Dan should be aware that, and he sees Boss here, and he knows if I get reds here, I should shoot them immediately, and he does. If he hadn't shot that red into the water, then you see he has the red here. He shoots it into the water. He would have had this red here, and you can fire around at this point. You can fire the red. So before you land it, you can fire the red, and it buys you a lot of time from this point to the point until he shot his first red. A lot of time passed, and this is a perfect place to fire your reds even before you land. So as I said, it's a very dangerous area. Reds can hit you very easily, so yeah, try to escape from this area as soon as possible. Yeah, and then he got the red and fired immediately as he should. He fired one. He fired one because he already knew. He knew that Boss got the shrooms, and he knew that he didn't have to fire two of them. And you see, Boss takes a lot of risk here with the shroom, but then fired it so perfectly that even with this great driving, Boss can escape. Save all three to hit him with all three. He was a bit late with the second. And Boss, what he tried to do here, he tried to escape again. He was taking quite a lot of risk. If I was in Boss's place here, I mean, you can take this risk and try to escape, but yeah, maybe just, yeah, you will get the second hit anyway, so yeah, just go for it, no problem. And then try to shoot him with the third one, but failed. Okay, so boss, just get back to the road, point to the iron boxes and shoot these mushrooms. This is exactly what he should do. He does that, maybe a bit slow, but it's crucial for him to hit these iron boxes. And as you see, then got an iron box here, big iron box, and he used it immediately. I think he did well. Third place iron box, not much you can do. If your opponent gets a lightning star, 3 reds, you are not in a good position anyway. So trying to get him before he knows what's happening, it's a very good choice. This was a very good fake item. I don't know if it was intentional, but it's pretty good, great positioning. And this is the turn I have been talking about. You should definitely try to avoid it sometimes. Maybe not if you are last and trying to hit someone on the last lap, but you see how dangerous it is. If he had hit this fake item, it would have been over right there. And he got a star here, missed that fake item, and he still has a chance at this point. I used the shroom to get up to the cave. Jones is just driving safe in second, and Dan should focus on driving here a lot. He focuses, he does well, he gets the bolt, it doesn't help. It would have helped actually, but Boss got another star, and Boss makes a big mistake here. He was pretty far behind, but if he didn't hit the bridge, there was a chance. I believe there was a chance. And you see how much time he lost. It's like, if he didn't hit this bridge, there might have been a chance. Of course, with good climb here, and you see the fake item here as well in Dan's screen. So make sure you drive as best as possible. Make sure you hit that bridge. It's not easy with the star. I would say that he probably wouldn't get Dan, but it would have been very close. So yeah, mistake from Boss, and Dan knows the situation here. He knows the situation, and what he was trying to do is maybe get Boss between the stars. There was also another option. When he saw the second star, he could have just used the bolt and maybe go for shrooms here. Focus on the item boxes. Just focus on getting the item boxes. Shoot the bolt. Focus on getting the item boxes, and hope you get a star. You get a shroom. And if you get a shroom, just fire it as soon as possible and finish the race. Yeah, so there was definitely a better play for Dan here, but yeah, he tried with the bolt. It's not bad either, but yeah, I would have went for the shrooms. Yeah, okay, so that's all for today, guys. I'll try to do one more commentary. I found a round of 16 match. I forgot who it was. It was, I think, Ebony, JT maybe. I don't know. I forgot. So, but it's a good match, which I'll be doing tomorrow. So you guys can see it before you start racing in Virginia. Yeah. So until next time.